Watching a game live compared to the TV, there's a difference. Yes, we're watching the same thing, but it's a different experience when you're in the arena. You see everything. Depending on how close you are, you can hear everything. And there are far less distractions. At least for me. Because I'm not paying hundreds of dollars just to be on my phone. I'm attentive to what's going on. So you pick up on things that can easily be missed with whatever the camera decides to focus on. And I've had the incredible fortune to see the three GOATs of the modern NBA. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. And I can say that I have a unique perspective on what it's like watching them live and the differences among these legends. Don't let this baby face fool you. I'm old enough to remember watching Michael Jordan play. However, it's when he played with the Washington Wizards. Boo! And it was a preseason game. Boo! But this was no ordinary preseason game. This was a little after announcing his third return to the NBA. And when I say that the stadium was popping, it was popping. The electricity in Greenville, South Carolina was, it was the biggest celebrity that town has ever seen in all of its history. So in the Bilo Center, shout out to Bilo, man. It didn't feel like a normal basketball game. The excitement that was in the air for being in the same building as this guy was something that I've never seen before in a live sporting event. Again, we're talking about a preseason game. Since this was over 23 years ago, I don't remember every detail of what happened in that game. I remember the crowd rising as one when he was alone the fast break as he went for a dunk. I remember the crowd getting restless when he was on the bench. But in the fourth quarter, that I remember well. I remember him going off. I remember him taking over. I remember the Nets defenders being helpless as he hit one mid-range shot after another. But you know how our memory works. We exaggerate in our heads things that actually happened a long time ago. So I found what was written in the next day on the local newspaper, the Blue Ridge Times. This is what they wrote. With the Wizards clinging to a 94-90 lead with 3 minutes and 22 seconds to play, Jordan easily beat Kenyon Martin for back-to-back 19-footers that put the game away on his way to scoring 11 points in the fourth quarter. It was something that he did hundreds of times, but to see it in person, we were all grateful. We were all high-fiving each other, knowing that we witnessed something that we never thought we'd experience. Looking back now at what I know about the game, it was classic Michael Jordan. It's not just him delivering. It was him not cheating the game. Yes, he was trying to get ready for the regular season and to shake off the rust. But he felt the responsibility to put on a show. And that he did. It's part of the reason why his fans are such ruthless defenders of him. It's because he never let us down. And I was able to see that in person. Now Kobe Bryant, I've seen him play a lot. A total of 7 times. A number at the old Staples Center. That's my favorite player, so seeing him in person was always a treat. I've seen Fro Kobe. I've seen Kobe during the Gasol era. And I've seen Kobe post Achilles injury. Here's something that he did that very few players have the power to do. That's to completely turn an entire arena around and convert everyone to Laker fans. That happens when he gets hot. The hotter he gets, the more balls he has to take crazier and crazier shots. When he makes them, even his biggest haters can't help but to applaud what he's doing. If you're going crazy alone in your living room, imagine what it's like in a stadium full of people who are supposedly there to cheer for their home team. I'm telling you, only the best of the best can do it. There's this video that has millions of views on YouTube when Kobe went on a personal run against the Hawks in 2013. I feel like the reason that video has so many views isn't just the way he forced his will on that game and the moves that he was making. It was the way the crowd reacted. And yes, I was in the building for that moment. The play-by-play announcer said it best when he called the arena Staples Center East, because that's what it felt like. With LeBron James, I've seen him one time, This came in the 2018/19 season. Now let me say this. One of my biggest regrets as an NBA fan was not seeing this man live during his athletic prime. I've heard it was an incredible experience to see the crazy athletic feats that he would do every game, or even the mini dunk contests he would do before every game. I mean, I'm glad I was able to say that I've seen him in person, but I'm sure it wasn't the same when he was playing with the Cavs or the Heat. On top of all that, I saw one of the worst games that LeBron's ever had. No joke, that's the kind of luck I had. Against the Indiana Pacers, the Lakers lost by 42 points. That's the second largest defeat he's ever experienced. So is that really fair to judge him from that one game? I didn't really get the full LeBron experience. I saw that one powerful dunk he had. I did get to see that. But that was quite literally the only highlight of the day from the King. But I did learn a lot about this guy from this game. You see, a player can say a lot about themselves when their team is getting blown out. You see exactly when they wave that white flag, how hard they're willing to go before they give up on the game. Do they turn on their teammates? Do they separate themselves to avoid receiving any blame? Things of that nature. Let me give you a prime example of this. In December of 2014, I went to see the Lakers play in Indianapolis, and the Lakers were getting torched. The score was 27-60 going into halftime. The game was already over because the Lakers were a pathetic squad. But what I saw for the next 12 minutes of game action is the reason why Kobe's my favorite player. He recognized that the hole was too deep to come out of, and he was most likely going to have to sit out on the fourth quarter. And Baker's Life Fieldhouse was full of Laker fans trying to take advantage of watching their favorite player because we didn't know how many years he had left. I'm willing to bet that Kobe knew this. So it seemed like he made it his mission to give the Pacers hell for the next 12 minutes. There were times where he was guarding his man 90 feet out. And there were times, 2 times to be exact, where he caused a turnover before the ball handler could even reach half court. He was attacking the rim, and he even gave us a vintage drive to the hoop where he dunked the ball while drawing the foul. It was like his way of telling us, I'm sorry we're playing like trash, but I promise you all won't leave empty-handed. Lakers ended up losing by 19 points, and Kobe did sit out the whole fourth quarter. But this was a moment that I'll never forget, because I learned something about this player that I would have never noticed if I wasn't in the building that night. I gained an even greater respect for Kobe, who refused to give up in a meaningless game at the age of 36. I have that memory in my head while I'm watching LeBron. At halftime, Lakers are down 46-69. So how would he respond? Would I see something similar that Kobe did back in 2014? No, it was quite the opposite. I saw someone give up. I saw someone who played half-heartedly. I saw someone who didn't want to be there. That was obvious when he was sitting all by himself on the bench with none of his teammates around him. He was pouting because the Pelicans refused to accept the trade offer for Anthony Davis. It was a sight that I also would never forget. After the game, I had strong feelings about his performance. You know, I don't consider myself a LeBron hater. Yes, I make videos at his expense when I'm comparing him to Michael Jordan. But I try to be fair and give him the props for the things he's great at. And it's kind of hard to be a LeBron hater when you're a Laker fan. But on that night, I felt what many of my viewers feel about him who aren't as forgiving as I am. I felt let down. I was so disappointed in him because I've seen the true greats play, and they always gave it their all, whether it's a preseason game or when they're down by over 40 points. If he's mentioned in the same breath as Jordan and Kobe, I expect, at the very least, the same level of effort. That's not too much to ask for. Many of LeBron's critics point out the multiple times he appeared to quit on his team in big moments. Some take out more points for that than others when it comes to evaluating their greatness. I'm not trying to turn this into a GOAT debate, but I was able to see that with my very own eyes. And that is the biggest difference when it comes to watching these 3 greats play live. But what about you all? Have you seen these three GOATs play in person? What are the differences? What did you witness live? Let me know down below. As always, thanks for watching.